it seems to me, likes a good whodunit story. From the tales of Agatha Christie and Sir Arthur Conan Doyle to the thrilling, if blasphemous, works of Dan Brown, the misadventures of Mystery Inc., all the way to the height of the police procedural age of television we have today. And you know, there is much that we find fascinating about tagging along with a good protagonist, vicariously solving the puzzles and connecting the dots, all leading to that emotional payoff when all the pieces finally fall into place and the mastermind behind the whole affair is locked in jail for the final time. What this reveals about our nature is not that we're nosy and gotta know, although that part's very true as well, but that we, as a creature, are built for mystery. Now, the unfortunate part is that we've reduced mystery to the inner machinations of criminal enterprises and the heroics of those meddling kids and their dog. Because the truth of the matter is, mystery is so much more than that. So the collapse of mystery into cliched sagas of detectives and robber barons is really an indictment of contemporary Western culture as a whole. See, we have no time nor a real capacity for true mystery. Yet we continue to seek it out as our hearts yearn for our participation in that which is truly mysterious. And this is because Western culture was built upon the foundation of Christianity. Western culture and Christendom were synonymous, were even coterminous. Yet, since the advent of the Enlightenment, we have spent the last 400 years purging our society of the last remnants of Christian sensibility, that there's no such thing as the mysterious, let alone anything that we can actually describe as true, good, and beautiful. That even our churches were built in the Art Deco, modern, and even the brutalist styles, such that there is a meme online that asks you to choose whether what is shown is a church or a Communist Party headquarters, should tell us how far we've fallen from the zenith of Christendom. Now, all of this naturally leads me to our celebration this weekend of the Solemnity of the Epiphany of our Lord. Naturally, because this great festival is shrouded in that mystery which our society sloughed off centuries ago. For what is the Epiphany of the Lord but the light of revelation to the nations? The moment when the redemption of all mankind, having first shone upon the children of Israel at Christmas through the persons of the shepherds, finds the warm rays of dawn mercifully and tenderly falling upon the Magi from the east, who in following the star arrive in Bethlehem of Judah to pay homage to a child set upon the Virgin's lap. And herein lies the mystery. For mystery is not a whodunit story, nor is it a problem to be solved, but true mystery is the revelation of the greatest truths at the very core of nature itself. In the rising of the star, creation itself bends to the will of the divine King of heaven and earth. That the star rests atop the house in Bethlehem is the capstone. For in it all biblical prophecy points to the arrival of the Christ, not in any town or village, but in royal David's city. Thus the star is the means of revelation to all, the one thing in the whole world that every single person desires: God himself. For us today, then, we should find ourselves in the Magi, for they represent all persons. And at the rising of the star, they were beckoned from tower and palace, from the land of Gentile and pagan, that they might receive the revelation of God's masterpiece, the plan of redemption that was known in the heart of the Father from before time began. That in knowing that in our creation we would lead to the sadness and suffering of sin and the entrance of death into our existence, he also knew that this moment would arrive, that he would not, and in fact, that he could not leave that which he loves the most in the squalor of the life of old. The invitation offered to the seers of the East is the first true revelation that the redemption birth of Israel is offered to all the nations of the earth, as the psalmist tells us, who come to adore him, the child of promise. And while we may see ourselves in those who journeyed long ago, all the more do we receive the promise whenever we approach this altar with our own hymns of adoration and worship. For the same child of promise who laid in the manger and slept in the arms of the Immaculate is here present for all to see and adore. But more than that, to receive into our very bodies what he who the whole world could not contain, who was born of the Virgin Mother, is offered to us time and again in this tiny white host, that we might receive every grace and heavenly blessing. See, this is true mystery. This is what we enter into every single time we walk through those doors. This is everything that the world once knew and has since forgotten. That Christendom, which once defined our culture, has been torn down and replaced with the dictatorship of the banal. And yet, even here in this last bastion of mystery, has faced repeated assault, both from without and from within. For mystery should not be bent to conform to personal taste, nor can it be confined to an arbitrary time limit. Here in this place is where we encounter anew our God and Lord. Herein is where time touches eternity. And it will be from here that we will find the spark that will re-enchant our very existence. And in once more opening our hearts to true mystery, we will once more be led by the tangible to the intangible, from the natural to the supernatural. And today can be that day for you and for me. All we have to do is follow the star.